Okay, so growing up, I mentioned several times I got to go to a private school because I could play football really well. Reason being, I was a big old fat ass who could run really quickly and was very quick. There's two different things for those of you who don't play sports. But there's one thing that you guys all across the board probably know, and that is Michael R. Jordan. Now, in today's NBA, I mean, to me back then, basketball, I absolutely loved basketball. They even cut me from the varsity squad when I tried out for basketball because they didn't want me getting hurt. Oh, that tore my heart apart, which was bullshit because later on when I didn't want to play and I was told, well, maybe you should go to another school. It just one of my first class of the day was PE, and it was done by the basketball coach, and he had basically all his PE was basketball stuff, and he even came up to me and asked me, have you thought about joining the basketball team? And they were Division IV champs, and my school where I played football at, they weren't champ. I mean, they were really good, but they fell short on the championships. So to get that kind of accolades from the head coach of a 4A championship basketball team at that time was like, wow. And 4A is just below 5A, which is the biggest. They just didn't have the amount of student body. But, I was kind of vindicated in my mind that, hey, this coach who knows what the hell he's doing, definitely saw my talent. But I was just too big and at an awkward size. And I think the thing that caught a lot of people off guard is I could shoot. Most of the time at the gym, people would be like, "Oh, play down low, big man." But when I got down low, yeah, sure, I picked up a few rebounds, this and that. But when I would take a shot from three-pointer, they'd be like, "No, swish." Oh, okay. So we drive them, right back down, thinking that we're running the triangle offense or some shit. And this was all just like, in at the rec center and stuff like that. And they're like, drive it to the lawn, just shoot it, swish. So then they got the message, okay, this guy can shoot. And I'd often, because the Denver Nuggets have always sucked up until the past few years, and I would always get, the praise like, man, you'd make the Denver Nuggets roster off of your shooting. But see, I was at such an awkward body configuration. I'd be an anomaly on if you were to create a character based off of my real life sizes at that time. Because here I am 6'5", but I weighed 330, but I could run really fast. Ball handling skills, I would say out of 100, I would say maybe 65 to 70. Shot, easily 85. Rebounding 85. Layups 1. You get me in an open court, and if there was somebody coming and I couldn't, I didn't have the dunk available, I'd go to lay it up, and my God, I missed more layups, I think, than any other shot in my life. Mid-range game, I didn't have that turnaround fadeaway like Jordan, and of course Kobe copied Jordan. But yeah, my all-time idol growing up was his airness, Michael R. Jordan. And this video is quite long, so I don't want to take up too much more of your time. But Jordan, and if you guys, I would definitely recommend watching The Last Dance, which is a documentary on the Bulls' last run to the last few playoffs. And it's more based on Jordan than anything else, to be real with you. And Scottie Pippen, even though he's kind of been going crazy lately, saying all this shit, but he kind of had a point. Like, it's mostly a documentary on Michael Jordan than anything else, and it is. But one thing that stood out is, he up and popped. Stephen Kerr was so pissed at practice because Jordan kept on going off on him, and finally Kerr just socked Jordan, and Jordan turns around and socks Stephen Kerr, and he's like, man, you know, he told himself right afterwards, he's like, I just punched the littlest guy on the team, and Jordan got sent home. And so, you know, they squash their beefs or whatever. And then look at the NBA Finals. Jordan finds, you know, Stephen Kerr for the open shot, and nothing but net. And that's what Jordan wanted. He wanted players to elevate their games to his. And if you notice, which was, I mean, there's no comparison, obviously. His dad was his best friend, was his everything. And when he talks about his father, he doesn't really get too emotional. And I'm pretty sure he probably does in his own time. But when he was talking about how much it meant to him that his teammates be as driven as he is, he got very emotional and started to cry and said, you know, let's cut right there. And that is honestly the showing of a champion. Somebody who is willing to go that extra distance to say, you know what, I want to bring my players here with me. I want to bring my teammates here with me so they can know what it feels like. He was there during, you know, them getting dogged out, and he wanted to be there for them when they were winning. So, without further ado, if you guys haven't seen this, this is Jordan's mixtape. Now, it shows some of his highlights, most of them his greatest highlights. There's a lot of plays in here that they obviously left out because he has so many of them. But I hope you guys really enjoyed this because this is a hell of a good video.
To compete, to win. That's all I live for. When you lose, you easily forgotten. I don't think anyone want to go to that grave forgotten. I'm not here campaigning for the best players in the world or in history. I'm not saying it.
And right now, with him saying that, you know what? I will go down saying that without a doubt, I've lived through the Michael Jordan era, and I actually got to see him play twice. Thankfully to my former best friend's dad, who they do a lot of, you know, security to make some money. And he took us through the players' locker room. We got his autograph. I mean, it was dope. Of course, you know, we're little kids, so he was, well, I mean, you know, what, 13, 14, you know, freshman in high school or so. And so he was, you know, very cordial with us, very cool with us. And he's like, and what's up with you, big man? You going to play some ball? And he meant football. I said, yeah, that's what I'm trying to do now. And he's like, you got the size for him, man. And he was just real talkative, real cool. And he made time no matter how. I mean, I don't even think Jordan busted a sweat when he came to Denver, to be honest with you. Back then, you know, it was just, yeah, Denver was even more of a joke. They went to the playoffs once in 1998, I believe. No. 97. 96, 97. Because I remember they were the first team in NBA history to be an 8th seed and beat the number 1 seed, which was the Seattle Supersonics, with, what the hell is his name? Sean Kemp, Detlef Schrempf, was Dale Ellis on that team? I can't remember. The Glove, Gary Payton, I can't remember who else. That was pretty much all of them. And the thing is, you know, we had George Karl, the coach of the Seattle Supersonics, some years later, and just his style didn't seem to fit the NBA for some reason in winning championships, because he would just run and gun, and that was his style. But defense, it just wasn't there, and their whole motto was score more points than the other team and let them score, but make sure you're scoring more points. So let me continue, because like I said, this is a long video.
Because everybody plays in different eras.
It's always been talked about the Chicago Bulls. It's about Michael Jordan, the outstanding husband from North Carolina.
You know, come on, this level is a brand new start for me. I have to start from the bottom and work my way up. So, I think the hard work is ahead of me. I'm willing to take on that challenge and go out and play the best I can.
No way, nutsack. Okay, so for people who don't know, Michael Jordan essentially beat Patrick Ewing's Georgetown. What are they? The Georgetown Bulldogs? I think that's what they are. Might be mistaken. But he beat Patrick Ewing for the college championship game and pretty much owned him throughout his NBA career. That fade away. Oh no. No, don't do it.
Everybody else guard down when he puts the shot.
You really think you're fly? Yeah.
When some people make the case, oh, you know, LeBron's the greatest, or, you know, I don't hear Kobe in there as much as, you know, you would think, but LeBron versus Jordan, no way. LeBron has more longevity, true, but you could go from statistics to statistic, you know, Michael Jordan, all defensive player. I mean, you know, won far more NBA championships in such a shorter amount of time. What else do you got here? I mean, you have too many to go off of. So, those of you who are, you know, campaigning for LeBron, just look at the stats. And another thing, nowadays you're not allowed to hand check. What kind of shit is that? Do you look at it? Every time he goes to the hole, he is getting slapped every which way. Charles Barkley, Joe Dumars. Look at that. Now, Barkley's like, nope. Look at that. Bodied up. Look at that. That would be a foul in today's game. Foul. Foul, foul. Foul. Look at that. Get that shit out of here. Look at that. Oh, get that out of here. Patrick Ewing is 7'1". Michael Jordan's as tall as my brother, 6'6". Look at the height. the hops you need to have, on top of that, your wingspan. I mean, incredible.
People are starting to get that when I play basketball, you know, I don't play church. I play a lot of hockey.
Poor Elo. He just got tore up by Jordan throughout his career. So did Alonzo Mourning. Probably might not care or not, but Michael Jordan's favorite place to play was Madison Square Garden. That was for him like the epicenter for basketball. And when he thought he was going to retire after the Bulls, you know, tore the franchise up, he wore his Jordan #1s, which, to those of you who don't know much about basketball, it's basically the shoe that kicked off Michael Jordan and his Jordans. So, Google Jordan 1s.
Here we are with Michael. Is there a feeling of passing of the torch, Magic Johnson, to you?
Oh, well, everybody knew that it was coming. It's just when was he gonna be ready to receive it and take it? And boy, did he receive it and take it.
I was here for this game. I was right there for that game. And from where we were at, I could see him mouthing something, but I don't know what it was, but I saw him close his eyes. And that was at McNichols Sports Arena. That was in the process, the Pepsi Center, which is now something completely different. I forgot what it's called. In Ball Field at Pepsi Center, or excuse me, something like that. But yeah, I remember seeing this.
Didn't take it, and boy, did he see it and take it.
back wall. He was so fast, but yet so quick. Look at that first step, it's just explosive. See, and that's something that LeBron doesn't do. He does not play defense. I've seen so many video clips and so many times that I've tried to watch the NBA nowadays, and he just does not show up when it comes to defense. One, two, 3, 4, 5, 6. Sorry to be positive so much, I'm just trying to point out some things. People say, you know, why he wouldn't be the greatest. You know, if people said, oh, you know, because of the three-point line, he wasn't the greatest of shooters, I guarantee you that if he was playing at his prime in this day and age, he would make the three-point shooter a part of his deadly arsenal. Now, all those points he was scoring, those were all mid-range points. 90% of them, 95% of them were all mid-range points. Yes, he shot 39% from three-point range, which is pretty damn good over his career. But could you imagine if he would have upped the amount of three-pointers? You know, he could have easily averaged 45 points. You know, some basketball analysts even think 50 if he wanted to in this day and age, for as ticky-tack as the NBA is. That first step is explosive, boy. Alonzo again. There's no greater feeling of dunking a basketball. Well, I can think of some, but, you know, I got these huge hands from top to bottom. About 9 and I would say 1/4 inch. So, yeah, palming a basketball and dunking it, no other greater feeling. Still blocks it. new ball.
I tell you, he's just simply amazing.
We knew he was coming back, and now we know when, and the news is music to the ears of Bulls fans. Michael Jordan will be in uniform for the Chicago Bulls, and Michael summed up his decision to return in 2 words: I'm back.
Today, Alex returns to his true campus, the hardwood hoops of the NBA.
It shows it in the documentary, but he was so nervous coming back. He put his let's just say his work attire on backwards, his shorts.
Michael Jordan is back.
There you go.
Just 10 losses. A ball club that's in NBA history with wins of the year.
Here is Michael, 4 on the shot clock now. Keeps it on the dribble. Russell's there. Here he is. Pull up 18-footer. Yeah! Michael Jordan!
Russell, was it Russell twice? I bet you it is. Okay, so when they're getting taped up and everything to Dikembe Mutombo, I think it was maybe during the All-Star game, and you know the East versus West, and this is the time Dikembe Mutombo right there in the middle. I know you guys can't see where I'm pointing, but right here. So he got famous for blocking shots, and no. And, you know, being a Denver Nugget fan, I was always disappointed that he left because, you know, we were the team that gave him his opportunity and goes down as one of the greatest defensive players. But in there, him and Mike are just, you know, they're just bullshitting back and forth. He's like, watch, call the ball boy in here. Mike's like, you don't need to call the ball boy in here. He's like, what? You know, he's like, oh, you never dunked on me. And Jordan's like, yeah, I have. This and that. And so they're going at it. And the thing about Jordan is, and every player will say this, you don't talk shit about Michael Jordan because he will come at you, and he will come at you with a vengeance. And so what he did right here, he just straight dunked on Mutombo's ass and did it right back to him.
You know what? Strength is one thing, but Lots of guys are strong, and lots of guys have skill.
I think I may have spoken about it too soon, but no, not yet. Oh, Elijah Wan, don't do Elijah Wan like that. 3 guys on him. There it is. There it is. I love that. Boom. Number 1. Again. And anybody who says he pushed up is full of shit. It was like Bob Costas described it as a maitre d' showing you where your seat is at. Because at first glance it looks like he shoves off him, but when you see him more and more, he barely brushed him.
If that's the last image of Michael Jordan, how magnificent is it?
Nothing but that. So as you could tell, I'm a bit of a fanboy, but man, this dude in his prime, you know, for the kids who don't know nowadays, I mean, my goodness, he was just, yeah, he was a man. So, hey, I hope you guys enjoyed watching. For those of you guys who aren't basketball fans, it's a hell of a good video, so thank you if you tuned in. And until next time, probably throw out a couple more videos tonight. Peace.